Right, now we've got a video with me and Terra, 2v2. I'll be doing a 3v3 one later because 3v3 is different, but 2v2 for now. The reason why I wanted to do another 2v2 one is because the way I played with Terra was very, very different to how I played with Morph. After Morph went and left the game, I changed up two-way style, and Terra was a big part of like developing that, and he was my best teammate. Uh, Probably ever. Like most successful, and we've got great teamwork. There's not like it's not like the way I did it with Terra was better than what I did it with Morph. They're just different. Um, I would say Morph's one lacks some ground, and I think that's the big criticism, obviously. And if we added a bit of ground, it would have been probably just as good. But two sides of the same coin, essentially, where Morph's version is more jumpy and we were more ranged and played quicker. And you'll see that with Terra it's going to be slower. We purposely slow down the game and we purposely stay on the ground a lot more. We're not darting around a lot. But there's going to be so many similarities to that Morph one that it's at the core of it, it's just TUA style essentially, but a ground version of it. So we're playing against Gend and MNU, so it's not an easy game. We had a couple of warm-up games to get into this. Start, obviously, he's in the doorway. I'm going to attack him. I want to pressure him. And because Terra is more of a comfortable ground player and 1v1 player, we're much happier to be split up at parts. Where he was over there. He attacks that spot, I attack this spot. There's nothing particularly. We never talked about that. It's not particularly tactical, but it's a good way of like if you're spawning first, get in those areas and try and do some damage before you come to main, sort of thing, and be the first one to apply the pressure rather than get the pressure applied to you. So we generally like to push, and through both styles, it's an awful lot about we want to be pushing them effectively and make their pushes as ineffective as possible. And ground movement's important. And I'll take you back just a second. This is going to be difficult to control. Oh, actually it won't because I'll use that. Boop. Come on. Are you broken? Okay, that was fucking weird. Just going to point out something that you'll see and I'll point out. So I'll explain it now and then I'll just point it out later in the round rather than go over and over and over it. Blah, 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 blah. We're just attacking to get a bit of pressure, see what we can do. We want to break them up as much as possible. Well, sometimes you want to break them up and sometimes you want to push them together. We do a lot of pushing together, as you'll see. But, there. Alright, I'll find a better example. Sorry about that. But for me, it's like, oh, I see it right there immediately. Not like when I paused before. And now it's not going to come across as clear to you guys if you don't know what I'm talking about. So at the beginning, Terra has a rough time, and it's just me surviving and supporting and not letting them do damage. Trying to stabilize it since Terra's struggling to get into the game. And as I said before in the Morph game, a lot is about rhythm. But it's there. No, just a second ago. Let me go back and hopefully it won't. Why do you... That's weird. Well, it was there. It's here. It's here. And it's there. So what you'll see a lot is that we go not perfectly in the line either side. Will be at a slight angle. So for example, if you see, if I'm here and the two blues are in the middle here, Terra will be somewhere over here. So that he's pushing this way and I'm pushing this way. And it's like, we're not pushing opposites, as in into each other, we're pushing slightly at an angle to each other, so that the enemy goes this direction and into each other. I'll try and find a better example of that, but it's massively important. It's a big part of ground, if you're going to do ground teamwork. There, we see we're at this angle. He's not right in front of me in this area. He's slightly to an angle. And I'm just coming in and he's keeping cool. And you'll notice we don't jump and react as much and me and Morph did that too much, and which is a part of us being a jumpy style and Morph not being as comfortable on the ground. But we're pushing these two this way, and you'll see at times that we get into this formation and we're pushing them together, i.e. Terra's pushing this way, I'm pushing this way, and those two are getting pushed into each other. But essentially, when we want to push them into a corner, they have this space. We have fucking all of this, absolutely tons of space. They're a bit stuck, and you'll see as we warm up better and get more into it, and Terra gets more into the rhythm, we make this situation so much more that we take their space, and we're all about taking up that space. So what happens? We're in this situation. This guy is gone off. Don't know what the fuck he's doing. MNU. I'm going to push this guy, and Terra thought, well, if he's going to run away, then we can just going to double this, and we're going to get this nice pincer attack. I'm not saying anything's going to come of it, but I go in, and then Terra was going to go in. But Terra was keeping an eye on MNU, and MNU pushed in, and he decided, no, I've got to attack MNU instead. So if I can explain the principles of what we do about ground control, we want space. We want them to have no space and us to have space. But so that requires us to push them back. It requires us to use our movement to position. And it means that when they start to push in and start to push us, we want to push them back again. So it's to deal with, to stop them doing any pressure or building any momentum, we use our movement to get into space and also combine that with pushing them on the ground. Because that's how you're going to slow them down. And that's how you're going to split them up when you want to split them up, and push them together if you want to, or push them into walls. And because we don't overreact and we're keeping to the floor, we're going to look at each other. And when we look at each other, we're going to combine, and it's going to come more naturally. Notice I didn't react there. I didn't want to swing at either of those two. I just wanted to dodge and then get into space, because I knew Terra was going to come in, and what does he do? He pushes away the problem, which is MNU. I turn around and deal with the guy that's a bit further away. So just show that again, because it's a good bit of teamwork. We're going to push. He's going to go for the push but change his mind. Now I'm in trouble. He's going to deal with him. I turn around and I'll deal with him. And a lot of good teamwork is like that, where you get yourself in a situation where you're in a bit of a mess. I don't know if mess is the right word, but you're under a bit of pressure and you're not in the space you want, you're not as organised as you want. And a good way of getting out of it is I take one, you take the other, and we push them back. So that when we push them back, obviously we're making space for ourselves and making it hard for the enemy to use teamwork. Now, Terra's big weakness in this 2v2 is that he's not used to the pace of the game yet. He hasn't played in ages, and MNU's on form. So Terra thought he had more time to fuck around to fight Gen than he did, and he got caught out. Now, I can't save him, I'm not fucking Jesus. Notice there, I'm just going to go back again. I like this backwards. So what's going to happen is MNU's going to get. I'm going to push him, try and backstab MNU, I think I was. And then as soon as he's out of my way and towards Terra, I'm dealing with Gend. Why? Because Terra doesn't need me to deal with MNU, he's looking at MNU. I'll look at Gend because he needs me to deal with Gend. Because if we both look at MNU, Gend's the one that's going to get the kill. And I need to give Terra space. I don't want to be up close to those two because that's three people in a small spot. Terra can't move. He needs space to move out the way. So I turn around, I'm like, alright, I'll deal with the person we need to. I'll push Gen back, making more space for both of us. I don't know why this keeps doing this, but not Gen, even MNU in that scenario. And then I attack MNU. Sorry, yeah, now it must have gone back in time. I fucked up there. Yeah, so I do go and attack Gent, but what Terra's done is he's noticed MNU's gotten too far away. So he immediately saw that I was pushing Gent, and he was like, fuck it, there's an opportunity to do a 2v1 quickly before MNU can catch up. Bang, bang. Doesn't quite work out. Gent gets away with it, but that's it. And then Terra has to jump away. And the initial thought is I have to deal with MNU. He's looking at MNU. He's not looking at Gend. If we both go for MNU and focus on MNU, Gen's the one that gets the frag. It's not always the case, but it's kind of like a nice rule of thumb. So I make sure that Gen's not causing Terra any problems. But Terra was in a difficult position and he gets killed anyway. But don't worry, we get our comeback. And the cat is here now to piss me off. So I'm just pushing him. Notice how I'm much more focused on the ground than I was with Morph. It's because I've got someone to play with and I'm in that mode now. Did some damage to MNU, pressuring him, pushing him back. So, oh, fucking cat! Tail on the keyboard, so my fucking presses weren't doing shit. Sorry, I'm getting pissed off with a fucking cat here. So I kill him. That's important. He comes to attack me. We're in this position where we've got either side of him. What we don't want to do is an action that's going to let him out. And this is going to come up in several situations as well. There's no need, like, I wasn't ready for that. It wasn't a counter. I want to hold him in that spot because that's the spot where terror is going to be really effective. We've got him in the position that we want. So I do what I can to keep him there, just a quick jump and hammer down, so that terror can come in. We had him there. I didn't want to let him out. If I go for a big clash, it might help let him out. He might be able to get past somehow. So I try and like take a step back and say, no, you can't fucking push out this way. I'm not going to let you push out. So that terror, then good. Then I can attack after, get a bit of a damage. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Emily comes in like a bullet, hits terror again. I get hit. Can't get this. But look, we're in that pincer, like you just saw a second ago. Terror's over here on this left-hand side because we're looking for that pincer. We want them together when we're pressuring like that. And yeah, see, terror gets. MNU attacks terror. Terror's like, no, I can get past that quick. I know that hell's going to pressure Gend in this corner. I'm going to come in because you want one person to be pressuring and the other person ready to attack that pressure. So that's what you see. That's why it's one person swings and the other. One person creates an opening for the other one. Terror's having a struggle. He's died 4 times in a row, but I'm feeling pretty reasonable. So this is the situation we want to be in. You saw that there for a second where they're close up and we're kind of either side. And there goes my first death. But do not worry. We are comfortable. Terror finishes off MNU. We've been damaging him for a while. So we've got him where we want him now, and I don't want to let him out, but I fucked up. See, after that, after I did my swing at MNU, and now we've got him where we want him, I attacked the other guy, because the other guy is the problem, not the guy that's jumping away, obviously, and Terra needs me to attack that guy. And look, I took a step back there, because if you're too close to the enemy, he's going to be able to run past you or jump past you a lot easier. If you take a step back, you can keep him in. And you'll see that a lot, that we don't over-rush in, we don't over-commit, and it becomes much easier. So I saw him in trouble, so I went to help. I couldn't do anything with Gend. I just wanted to put off MNU while he was doing that. There, this is the situation we want. And you see that, Terra, just another example. I pushed MNU into the corner. Terra does his responsibility. He looks around and sees Gen's a threat, Gen's coming in. I have to deal with him. We'll have another chance to kill MNU. There's no rush. And we can both, like, and he can stay on the ground and just push him. Gen did nothing there. Gen started to walk in and then he got pushed back. He had absolutely no effect whatsoever. I was able to attack MNU with zero pressure on me, which means I'm comfortable, means I trust Terra, and I think if I need to go on an attack like that, Terra's going to have my back. And he's not focusing on frags, he's focusing on space. He made space for me by attacking Gend. And just to explain that, I'm in this corner attacking MNU, so there's a certain amount of space behind me. If Gen comes in and attacks me, and he gets in behind me, I suddenly don't have any space to move, because there's MNU in front of me in the corner, and Gend behind me holding him in the corner. So what does Terra do? He pushes Gend away so that there's nothing behind me and I can back off and jump away, or just turn around and find space if I need to. And that's so important, because that's the best way of explaining it is that speeding us up and slowing them down. And obviously we're a slow playing team, but it's still the case. I get Gend, the pressure's starting to build up. So another part about this ground style, there's no rush to it. And as you saw there, um, the kind of the pressure builds up. You start to the more that you start to like dominate that space, and you're speeding yourselves up and slowing them down, and you're putting pressure on them, you'll start to break them a little bit. You'll force them into things they don't want to do. They'll start retaliating, and you'll start just getting good situations. So he goes for a swing for me, and we both go in, and he's in that perfect position. He went to attack Terra. Terra took a step back. He was like, I'm not fighting you. I'm not here to do a big clash, because if I do a big clash, Hellraiser won't be able to get involved, and he might be able to get away. If we do a big clash, he might go into the balcony, or he might jump over him, and then our attack is cancelled. So he takes a step back, which means that MNU has to suddenly turn around and deal with me, which means that my pressure's going there, and he felt under pressure because he couldn't. He was in the corner. He couldn't get anywhere. Forces a mistake. And lots of games are about space and pressure, and how you force mistakes out of the enemy. CS:GO is the exact same. So we've both got these angles. I know I fucked up there. I absolutely whiff my shot. Absolutely whiff it. But we are jumping around a bit because they're in the middle, and whether it's ground or jumps, both are viable. They haven't got as much space, and if you jump both of them, because they're so close to one of them, because they're so close to each other, you've got a reasonable chance of hitting the other. So we're both taking attacks in there. I fucking miss, but the setup was good. And if you notice, if you took like an aerial view, and you show how much space they have to back up into or move around in, and you compare that to how much space we do, we would have probably 2 times more space than they do or more. So Terra's obviously been defending. You get pushed into balcony and stuff, but he's not under that much pressure. Having good movement deals with that, and I'm straight in there. M&E goes to push, I push him back. I go push him back again, and there we are. Terra saw it. Again jumped in. Terra just dodged it, didn't give a flying fuck. Instead, no, how am I going to use this pressure that Hell's made? Because I just pushed M&U. And what happens? M&U goes to attack him, he backs off. He doesn't jump away, he doesn't go for a massive stupid clash. He backs off and then pushes back into the space. So, just to be clear, over here, because Terra was moving this way, towards this direction, he had to go close to the wall to dodge Gend, and he was going to combine up with me to attack MNU. MNU saw it, did a good job. We're too far away to be coordinated properly. He hasn't got much space, so he attacks MNU. Sorry, he attacks Terra, and that ends our attack, and it's good play by MNU. But what does Terra do? Terra takes a step back. He doesn't fight that ground, that attack of MNU's, and MNU decides to jump away or has to jump away because he doesn't know what's going on. So what happens then? Terra just pushes back in. And this ability to stay on the ground, know when to commit, and then know when to push in to take the space like he is now, he's pushing him forward, makes things a lot easier. So Terra's just rushed in and he started swinging. This is just saying, my space. Fuck you all, my space. And now you see these two are together. And like, it seems silly, and I'll play it just normal speed without changing anything. But I push again. He avoids that push. He pushes in, push, and we're comfortable. And those two get sandwiched between us or sandwiched together often. And yeah, there's a big experience reason for it. And like Terra there was probably 1v1ing too long. And then he got himself caught out. And now I'm trying to back him up there. But it's just they don't have the space. Like, I'm absolutely going for MNU there to stop him from doing anything Terra. But look, they're in that space together. And Terra's obviously not played in a long time. He's nowhere near as good as he used to be. But we got them stuck in there, and he lost that fight. But in the past, he would have probably won that. My one hit from the roll. I usually fuck that up, so I'm happy. And look, he's stuck, and I missed. But one swing, two swing, and we got to push him away. And I saw that MNU was there, but he seemed to have slipped past me. I don't know what the fuck he got there, felt quick. But Terra, because of his good ground, I went to deal with MNU, push him away. This is another tactic. so that Terra can 1v1 and finish someone off. So if someone's low, what we would usually do is, obviously yellow is the way. Now if there's two of us, we'll do a bit of teamwork, some yellows, some ground reds, maybe even some jumps. But the other way of doing it is we want to finish him off so we can 2v1 this person. And then hopefully we kill him before the other guy gets here and we 2v1 him. So I just pressure the shit out of his guy so that Terra can have space and time and not watch his back at all. So I just went for MNU and he was able to finish off a low end. And now we're 2v1ing him. And we've let him get away there. We don't mean to, but we've got our movement. We've got our positioning. Look at him. He's following that. Like, he's swinging at shadows, kind of. We're not letting him overdo it. And he's doing a really good job because MNU is obviously a very, very good player. But look, we got him in here. We don't want to let him away. I went in for the attack. Terra was ready in case he fell away, but he probably should have been in closer there. And I mentioned it to him on voice. He should have been in there because that was a good time attack opportunity. But you see how we try and keep them in. And we're trying to make that sort of position. I'm a bit of a mess now because I got under pressure. And I'm just focusing on getting out. What does Terra do? He sees that I'm in a bit of a mess. He sees an opportunity because he was pushed out as well. And all he does is push everyone out the way. And I can't stress this enough that I wish more people would do this. That just push them. Like just make space. Look, it's clear that I'm a mess, and he's gotten pushed out into the hallway. So he comes in, he's like, fuck off. Create a bit of space. Now we can jump away, and now I'm in space, and I'm the one in control. And I get a bit of MNU there, and I'm just kind of like making sure I'm in the center spot. Create a bit of space. And I get fucked up there because we did get a bit into a bad position there. But as I say, the way out of that is to push for space. Just saying why I did that. I pushed in front of Terra so he knew I was there, and he knows that I want to take the front spot. He's got low HP. Let me go first. So, and I didn't fully push forward. I just did it for a bit, and we were able to. I pushed back Gend, and then we both teamed MNU. You can't do that without pushing Gend first, because that makes it so it's harder for him to get involved. Gend takes damage. Terra probably should have been a little bit closer, but his idea is that Gen's in the corner and he's got no space. He was in this corner here. Having an extra person fucking trying to hit him is in no way beneficial, really. I'd say it's more likely a disadvantage than an advantage because you may clash each other, you're gonna block each other, whatever, and you might fuck up if someone blocks, or we might get backstabbed if MNU's quick. So what does he do? He stands about here and he watches. He watches to make sure that MNU can't backstab. He tries to get in a good position so that if Gen jumps away, he can attack him and continue the pressure. And he'll just follow the fight. So if we started wandering this way, he'll start wandering that way a bit and come out to the side. Or if it starts going towards the hallway, he'll start hovering a little bit towards the hallway. And he'll just make sure that I can back off if I can. Gen can't, and I don't get backstabbed. So look, we just, there's no rush. Just, fuck you, MNU, stick in that corner. And I ran back, trying to make sure, and I do some damage. And all that was, and I know we're going over a lot of the same stuff, but it's just a good example. All it is we don't want you out of this corner, but we're in no rush. The opportunity will come. He went to attack Terra. Terra falls back. Not because Terra's scared of him, but because Terra's like, I don't want to give you a way out of this corner. And I do a bit of a ground, but I jump back. And I don't jump back because I'm scared or he was going to hammer me or anything. It's because I wanted to jump back so that he couldn't run away. So I'm like back in the position to hold him there and to let maybe Terra do something. So Terra comes in for the pressure, and then at some point you have to try and attack the pressure because you know your teammate's going to come. And you can't stress it, and sometimes you're going to be doing team attacks and nothing comes of it. Fine, it's fine, don't worry about it, just don't rush in. Another one will happen later on. And sometimes you think, right, this looks like a good chance, I'm going to kind of try and commit to this. 2v1, MNU's forced to get away. And because Terra went for a big jump, it's easy to get away that way. But it is what it is. And we got him. Neither of us jumped in, Gen never really got away, MNU came and saved him basically there. I push them together. The pressure's getting to them. They're falling apart a bit. And look where we are. Hello, where do you want to go? Couldn't quite get him there, but MNU doesn't have a solution to that problem. Now I'm attacking again so that Terra has some space and time. Oh, apparently he killed MNU, which is good. And he kills him. And we tried to like continually take space from them, give it to us. I tried to give it, and then I fell back so he couldn't run away, and he was still stuck in there. I let him go to that wall side of me. I'm pressuring MNU because I know he's going after Terra, and I'm, this is my bread and butter. Terra maneuvered, found that he could push Gend towards me. I turned around and nearly had an opportunity to hit him. I'm in the corner now, and Terra didn't do anything there until Gend made, like the second player made a decision. So the second player jumped in and Terra thought, I have to deal with one of them. So I'm in that corner behind. I'll back, because it's useful to know when you should jump in and when you shouldn't, and how you're supposed to think about these things. So I'm going to be in this corner. I tried to go for something there, and then I turn around and Gen's pressuring me. And Terra's not doing anything. That guy jumps in, Terra moves. Because now I need to focus on one of them, and he'll focus on the other. I focus on Gend. Terra immediately went and attacked Ervinio. He made space by pushing him back. We now control more space, and we're both dealing with one player rather than getting backstabbed and over focusing on another. So Terra had to get away, and he used me as space, which is fine in those sort of situations. I'd push back Gend, and he said, right, I'm under pressure, I'll come to him. So yeah, I'm just trying to pressure MNU because he's causing Terra some problems, and it was difficult. And because these two are both being aggressive and sharp jumps and good hits and everything, we're going to get caught out at some point, especially if since Terra's rusty. And the game's nearly finished now. I fall back, making sure Gen can't get away. He goes in. Couldn't quite get that backstab. I'm a bit slow. And at this point, if you want to survive and play passive, splitting up's fine. We're both good on the ground, and yeah, I like there a bit and I fuck up. But we split up and we go into 1v1s because it's easier to defend yourself in just a 1v1. It's more difficult to pressure a player just on your own. It's more difficult to pressure a player on your own. Anyway, that is it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good. The ground version of it. Peace out.